21 Reasons Why Everyone Envies Pisces. Pisces, Part 1. Welcome, dear friends, to the path to Buddhist wisdom, where we explore life's deeper truths through a lens of compassion, insight, and mindful understanding. Today, we're delving into the wondrous world of Pisces. Pisces. Prepare to be amazed as we discuss the first segment of the 21 reasons why many people find themselves, secretly, or not so secretly, envious of the Pisces spirit. But before we launch into this exciting journey, I invite you to reflect on a simple question: what is your zodiac sign and birth date? Feel free to share in the comments. I'll be reading them all, eager to discover more about you. 1. Pisces' dreamy and optimistic nature. One of the first things people notice about Pisces is their boundless imagination. They carry an almost childlike sense of wonder, constantly envisioning possibilities that others might dismiss. In an era marked by cynicism and stress, encountering someone who effortlessly finds a silver lining can feel surreal. But make no mistake, Pisces' optimism doesn't stem from naivete alone. It often comes from a place of profound empathy and emotional intelligence. In my early years as a spiritual practitioner, I once worked at a small community center where a Pisces volunteer, let's call her Maya, radiated joy each day. Even when the center was understaffed, or the budget was tight, she always found a gentle, uplifting remark that would ease the pressure off the rest of us. Maybe this financial setback is just a chance for us to get more creative, she would say, bright-eyed. And astonishingly, that simple affirmation spurred us to try new fundraising methods that ended up being a resounding success. This is the kind of dreamy positivity that makes people want to be in the orbit of a Pisces. Why people envy it. Magnetic positivity, the Pisces outlook, draws people in. Creative problem solving, their dreamy mindset can actually produce out-of-the-box solutions. Emotional resilience, even when disappointed, they tend to bounce back with hope. As a reflection from the path to Buddhist wisdom, Pisces remind us of the Zen principle of the beginner's mind, which stays open to new possibilities. When you approach problems without the baggage of past failures, magical solutions often arise. 2. Unwavering bonds, Pisces never let go of true connections. In a fast-paced world where many relationships dissolve over minor conflicts, Pisces stand out as the anchor in any circle. Their emotional investment in friends, family, and even casual acquaintances runs deep. When a Pisces forms a bond, they're not in it halfway, they commit wholeheartedly. This loyalty can be both a blessing and a curse, but it's undoubtedly admirable. Let me share a small anecdote. Many years ago, I knew a Pisces gentleman named David. When his best friend experienced a series of unfortunate events, losing a job, going through a breakup, and falling into debt, David was there every step of the way. He offered his couch, cooked homemade meals, and even gave up personal comforts just to ensure his friend could land back on his feet. Why people envy it. Emotional security. There's something deeply reassuring about having someone in your life who won't bail when times get tough. Unshakable loyalty. Pisces simply do not give up on loved ones easily, which is a rare trait in our modern world. Boundless compassion. Their ability to nurture and support fosters relationships that are built to last. From a mindful perspective, this resonates with the Buddhist concept of loving-kindness, metta, genuine care extended to others without preconditions. Pisces embody this sentiment so naturally that others often say, I wish I could care like that. But it's a double-edged sword because Pisces risk overextending themselves. Balancing that compassion with self-care is key for Pisces and for anyone inspired by their example. 3. Radiating happiness, how Pisces light up any room. Picture this, a family reunion or a gathering of friends. And the conversation feels a bit stale. Then, in walks a Pisces. And suddenly the vibe shifts. Their presence alone adds warmth to the atmosphere. This has little to do with acting like a clown or commanding attention, instead. It's tied to their genuine desire to uplift others. Some years back, I co-organized a meditation retreat where participants arrived feeling stressed, burdened by deadlines, and disconnected from their personal lives. Enter Jade, a Pisces participant who had a knack for noticing who was anxious or who felt out of place. She initiated friendly conversations, cracked gentle jokes, and even sat next to the most introverted attendees to make sure they felt seen. By the end of the weekend, many participants credited their newfound friendships and comfort to Jade's subtle but powerful presence. Why people envy it. Natural charisma, Pisces don't force their charm, it flows authentically. Atmosphere of belonging, they make people feel valued and understood. Emotional contagion, happiness can be contagious. And Pisces set the emotional tone in a room. In Buddhist practice, one often hears about taking refuge in the community, also known as the Sangha. Pisces seem to personify this idea by creating an environment where everyone feels they belong. It's a spiritual gift, the ability to turn an ordinary gathering into a micro-community bound by shared warmth. 4. Spontaneity and mystery, Pisces and intimate adventures. When it comes to romance or close relationships, Pisces add an element of mystery and spontaneity that can leave their partners breathless. They bring an open heart and a flair for the whimsical, which often translates into memorable, passionate experiences, from surprising love letters to spontaneous weekend getaways. Pisces have a way of elevating the ordinary into something magical. A friend of mine once recounted how her Pisces partner woke her up at dawn to drive to a lakeside viewpoint just so they could watch the sunrise together. He'd packed a small breakfast and even included a handwritten poem. The whole experience felt like a scene out of a classic romantic film. It wasn't just about being impulsive, it was a well-thought-out moment to create a shared emotional tapestry. Why people envy it. Effortless romance, Pisces seem to intuitively understand how to nurture emotional and physical closeness. Emotional depth, their capacity for genuine affection makes even small gestures feel profound. Unpredictable surprises, life rarely feels stagnant with a Pisces, they relish the joy of discovery. Interestingly, this resonates with the Buddhist notion of mindful awareness, being fully present in a moment, free from routine dullness. Pisces approach relationships with creativity and mindfulness, a combination that can make any shared experience feel electric. 5. The need for personal space and emotional recharge. While Pisces thrive on connection, they also understand the importance of retreating into themselves to recharge. Think of a fish that periodically needs to swim away from the bustling coral reef to calmer waters. For Pisces, alone time is sacred. It's an opportunity to process emotions, reflect on life's twists and turns, and re-emerge with renewed vitality. I recall organizing a group trek through the mountains with some friends, 2 of whom were Pisces. They adored the group's energy, but halfway through each day, They'd quietly slip away to walk in silence for a while. When asked, they would say something like, "I just need to let nature talk to me for a bit." Far from being rude, it enhanced their presence. By evening, they rejoined the group with stories of what they'd observed, unique bird calls, patterns in the wildflowers, or reflective thoughts about gratitude. It was like they'd gleaned deeper wisdom by taking that solitary break. Why people envy it. Healthy boundaries. Pisces know how to recognize emotional overload and take steps to care for themselves. In a balance, their capacity to withdraw prevents burnout and helps them maintain their positivity. Personal growth. That alone time often results in creative ideas or fresh insights. In many Buddhist teachings, solitude is considered vital for developing inner wisdom. The Pisces approach, then, is a living example of how stepping back from social noise can sharpen both empathy and perspective. A short personal story. Let me illustrate the blend of these 5 traits with a brief narrative from my own life. Several years ago, I worked on a community project to build a mindfulness garden in the local park. We had a small budget, a handful of volunteers, and a ticking deadline. Among the volunteers was a quiet but always smiling Pisces named Eliza. True to her sign's reputation, she was optimistic, even when we ran short on supplies. She reassured everyone we might discover something better than we expected. Deeply loyal, she never missed a single planning session and made sure to check on each volunteer's personal well-being. Infusing happiness, on hot afternoons, she brought homemade lemonade to lift our spirits, making the group feel nurtured. Spontaneous. One Saturday morning, she surprised us by decorating an old fence with hand-painted river stones, turning a dull corner into a whimsical feature of the garden. Respectful of solitude, after a busy day of communal work, she'd slip off to the edge of the park to sit under a large willow tree, quietly reflecting and journaling. The project finished on time, under budget, and with far more creativity than we'd expected. I credit much of that success to the Pisces magic Eliza brought, proving that these traits truly do make a significant difference in real-world situations. Buddhist wisdom takeaway for Part 1. In Buddhism, there's a concept of the middle way, suggesting that extremes, whether in action or emotion, often lead to imbalance. Pisces embody a fascinating dance between openness and boundary, connection and solitude, dreaminess and practical loyalty. They show us that life can be a vibrant tapestry of heartfelt optimism, if we're willing to remain open yet self-aware. Embrace your inner dreamer, like Pisces. Nurture your imagination. Even in problem solving, an open mind can generate extraordinary solutions. Practice compassionate loyalty. Stand by your friends and loved ones through thick and thin. Yet, don't forget to maintain healthy boundaries. Spread genuine joy. A simple smile or gesture of kindness can transform the energy in a room. Cherish spontaneity. Allow small surprises and heartfelt gestures to keep relationships alive and thriving. Honor your need for solitude. Learn from Pisces. Retreat into quietude to recharge and come back stronger. 6. The key to a fulfilling encounter. When it comes to meaningful connections, whether romantic, friendly, or even professional, Pisces place a high value on emotional trust and safety. You'll notice that a Pisces often requires a heartfelt sense of understanding before they truly open up. While physical attraction or intellectual rapport might be enough for some, a Pisces needs that deeper emotional link to feel genuinely fulfilled. Why this is enviable? Genuine bonding. Pisces prioritize emotional depth over superficial connections, creating relationships that stand the test of time. Emotional maturity. It takes self-awareness to insist on trust and respect before unveiling your most vulnerable self. Spiritual openness, because they seek more than the ordinary. Relationships with Pisces often have a layer of almost ethereal closeness. I recall working with a Pisces colleague, let's call him Jordan, on a collaborative writing project. While we had an immediate rapport in team meetings, Jordan would only share his innermost ideas when we sat down over coffee and actually connected on a personal level. He talked about his fears, his inspirations, and the emotional journey that fueled his creativity. Once that trust was established, his intellectual floodgates opened. Our project soared to new heights because of the emotional synergy that only emerged when both of us felt safe enough to be transparent. Buddhist wisdom connection. In Buddhism, there's a notion that real communication arises from right speech, which includes honesty, compassion, and depth. Pisces practically demand this approach, because shallow interactions can't quench their soulful thirst. For them, a conversation is more than exchanging words. It's about forging a bridge between hearts. 7. The life of the party. If you picture a party or social gathering where everyone's just milling about awkwardly, you can be sure a Pisces will spontaneously lighten the mood once they arrive. Their infectious sense of humor and compassionate social awareness allow them to pick up on tension and diffuse it with ease. They don't even have to be the loudest person in the room. Instead, they have a natural, gentle magnetism that makes people want to smile and engage. Why this is enviable? Effortless charisma. While some people struggle to break the ice, Pisces accomplish it as naturally as breathing. Emotional barometer. Their empathy lets them sense group dynamics and respond in real time, ensuring no one feels left out. Authentic joy. They're not just performing to entertain. Pisces genuinely enjoy uplifting the collective energy, which makes their impact all the more powerful. During a mindful living workshop I attended, there was a Pisces participant named Ava. One evening, the entire group was drained from a day full of introspective exercises. Ava spontaneously suggested a brief laughter yoga session, a playful set of exercises that involve forced laughter which soon turns genuine. It could have felt awkward, but because she introduced it with such genuine warmth, the entire room dissolved into giggles within minutes. By the end, everyone felt lighter, more connected, and oddly relieved. Sometimes, simple acts of joy are enough to break our self-imposed barriers. Buddhist wisdom connection. Buddhism often reminds us that each moment is fleeting. Pisces who uplift social settings are almost practicing a form of mindful presence. They tune in to the energy of the space, let go of their own inhibitions, and focus on collective well-being, mirroring the Buddha's teachings on compassion for all. 8. Fighting for justice with passion. While Pisces are often perceived as gentle souls, it's a mistake to assume they are pushovers. Quite the contrary, they have a fierce sense of justice and will defend the oppressed or wronged with unwavering conviction. From standing up to workplace bullying to advocating for broader social causes, Pisces let their deep emotions fuel a passion for doing what's right. Why this is enviable? Empathy in action. It's one thing to feel deeply for others, and another to use those feelings as motivation to create change. Magnetic leadership. People are naturally drawn to someone who fights for fairness from a place of genuine compassion rather than personal ego. Moral courage. Standing up for what's right can be lonely. Yet Pisces rarely hesitate when their moral compass is triggered. I once served as a volunteer with an environmental organization. A Pisces team member, Samantha, spearheaded a local cleanup campaign when she discovered corporate waste being dumped into a nearby river. She crafted heartfelt petitions, gathered community support, and even approached local representatives. Her gentle demeanor could have fooled people into thinking she wouldn't push too hard, but her convictions were unshakable. Thanks to her effort, new regulations were enforced to prevent further pollution. It was a proud day for the entire community. Buddhist wisdom connection. This dedication to justice echoes the Bodhisattva ideal in Mahayana Buddhism, where one aspires to achieve enlightenment but refuses to stand by while others suffer. A Pisces often acts similarly, trying to alleviate pain and correct injustices, making them luminous examples of engaged compassion. 9. The art of forgiveness and distance. Pisces are incredibly forgiving and empathetic. Yet they aren't naive. They can sense when a situation or person repeatedly crosses boundaries. And at that point, they will choose to keep their distance, sometimes permanently. This duality can be puzzling to those who only see the forgiving side. But make no mistake, if you continually disrespect a Pisces, their kindness will not be indefinite. Why this is enviable? Healthy boundaries. Forgiveness doesn't mean repeatedly welcoming toxic influences. Pisces understand when it's time to protect their energy. Emotional integrity. They forgive from a genuine place, not from fear or social pressure. Self-preservation. Once they decide to walk away, it's a clear statement that they won't compromise their emotional well-being any further. Years ago, I had a Pisces roommate, Nina, who embodied this. When a mutual friend repeatedly showed up late to gatherings after promising punctuality, Nina laughed it off the first few times. However, after multiple no-shows and broken commitments, she simply stopped inviting that person over. It wasn't done with anger, she said. I don't hate them. I just value honesty and reliability. I need to keep space for people who respect that. This method of forgive but distance is a potent lesson. Many people struggle with the all-or-nothing approach, either fully cutting ties at the slightest infraction or tolerating mistreatment indefinitely. But a Pisces recognizes the nuance. You can release bitterness, forgiveness, and still protect yourself. Distance. Buddhist wisdom connection. In many spiritual teachings, including Buddhism, there's an emphasis on letting go of resentment. However, letting go doesn't imply letting others continue harming you. It's a balance between metta, loving kindness, and upaya, skillful means, knowing how to care for yourself while maintaining compassion for all beings. 10. The power of small gestures. Ever heard that it's the little things that count? Pisces embody this maxim like no other sign. Whether it's sending a thoughtful text at exactly the right moment or remembering your favorite snack and surprising you with it after a bad day, Pisces pay attention to the subtle details. These small gestures hold immeasurable emotional weight, often brightening someone's day more than any grand display could. Why this is enviable? Heightened sensitivity. Pisces notice what others might overlook. Small shifts in mood, hints at personal preferences, or silent cries for help. meaningful connection. These tiny acts of kindness form a mosaic of trust and intimacy in their relationships. Joyful generosity. A big, showy gift can be nice, but a well-timed small gesture can leave a deeper imprint on the heart. I vividly recall a hectic period of my life when I was juggling multiple commitments. My Pisces friend, Lionel, saw how stressed I was. One evening, he came by with a homemade herbal tea blend, carefully labeled with instructions for optimal brewing. "This is for when you're up late finishing your projects," he said. That simple gesture spoke volumes. It was heartfelt, personal, and reminded me that I wasn't alone. Buddhist wisdom connection. In Zen practice, there's a concept known as chop wood, carry water, which highlights that enlightenment and profound care can be found in the simplest daily tasks. By attending to little gestures, Pisces demonstrate how spirituality and empathy live in each small moment, not just in big acts or ceremonies. 11. The power of surprises in bed. If there's one place Pisces truly embrace spontaneity, it's in the realm of intimacy. They love those small, electrifying surprises that keep emotional and physical sparks alive. Whether it's slipping a handwritten note under a pillow or sharing a playful new idea for date night, Pisces revel in keeping things fresh and unpredictable. Why people envy this? Romantic creativity. Pisces go beyond routine affection, infusing every intimate moment with excitement and whimsy. Deep emotional ties. These surprises aren't just about novelty, they are rooted in the Pisces' desire to forge a more profound bond. Joyful vulnerability. By expressing affection in unexpected ways, Pisces create a safe space for open-hearted exploration. I recall a conversation with a married couple at a mindfulness retreat. Let's call them Sam, Pisces, and Robin, Libra. Sam recounted how, once a month, he'd arrange a mini escapade for Robin, sometimes a new recipe they'd cook together, sometimes a spontaneous dance in the living room. The result? A relationship that never felt stagnant or mundane. Even after years of marriage, these small surprises kept their spark glowing. Buddhist wisdom connection. In Buddhism, there's a concept called joyful effort, which suggests that true dedication, whether in spiritual practice or relationships, thrives on enthusiasm and surprise. Pisces embody this principle, teaching us that even in daily routines, sprinkling excitement recharges the spirit. 12. The dreamy kiss. For Pisces, a kiss is never a mere physical act, it's a portal into their imaginative, often boundless inner world. They aren't typically rushed or mechanical in their affection, rather, they immerse themselves in the moment, allowing their intuitive nature to guide them. A Pisces kiss can feel like slipping into a soft, enchanting dreamscape where time slows down. Why people envy this? Uninhibited passion. Pisces let go of constraints, giving in fully to the embrace of the moment. Emotional resonance. Their kisses carry warmth and sincerity, leaving a lasting impression on their partner's hearts. Heightened sensual awareness. Because Pisces are so attuned to subtleties, even the lightest touch can feel profoundly intimate. A friend of mine, Elena, once said of her Pisces partner, "It felt like I was kissed by someone who'd stepped right out of a fairy tale." His slow, thoughtful manner of drawing her in made each kiss an event to remember, though it might sound like hyperbole. For those who've experienced this level of tenderness, it's anything but. There's a spiritual hush in the air, a sense that you're entering a sacred space of closeness. Buddhist wisdom connection, a mindful approach to intimacy, whether a kiss or a simple hug, reflects the Zen teaching of full presence. Pisces naturally embrace each moment with their entire being, reminding us that authenticity in even the smallest acts can elevate them to near transcendent experiences. 13. The difficulty of forgiving. Despite their deep wells of empathy, Pisces can find it excruciatingly difficult to forgive certain transgressions. It's not that they don't want to let go of hurt. Rather, their intense emotional depth often magnifies the sense of betrayal when someone wounds them. They may offer multiple chances initially, but once that last line is crossed, forgiving can become a grueling emotional journey. Why people envy this? Emotional self-respect. Pisces refuse to gloss over deep pain without genuinely resolving the emotional fallout. Genuine forgiveness. When they do finally forgive, it isn't superficial, they work through real healing. Protective boundaries. Their inability to forgive easily in certain situations helps them maintain personal integrity and guard against repeated harm. Imagine a Pisces co-worker, Alan, whose close friend publicly humiliated him in a misguided joke that cut far too deep. Alan initially tried to move past it, but each time he saw his friend, the wound reopened. With therapy and self-reflection, he eventually found it in himself to forgive, but only after honest apologies and consistent proof of change from the friend. This painstaking path to forgiveness might be long, yet it underscores the genuine care Pisces hold for the sanctity of trust. Buddhist wisdom connection. Buddhism urges practitioners to cultivate compassion and forgiveness. Yet it also acknowledges the depth of suffering. True forgiveness often requires mindful awareness of our own pain and a sincere transformation in the offending party. Pisces exemplify that real forgiveness is a two-way street, requiring earnest contrition and healing. 14. Expectation and disappointment. Because Pisces see life through an often idealistic lens, they frequently hold high expectations for themselves and others. When reality fails to match these lofty visions, the resulting disappointment can feel like a personal heartbreak. It's as though the rainbow-colored dream they cherished evaporates into a gray sky, leaving them momentarily deflated. Why people envy this? Heartfelt idealism. Pisces inspire those around them to dream bigger and aim higher. Genuine investment. Their expectations spring from genuine hope and care, not a desire to control. Fuel for growth. While disappointments can sting, they also push Pisces to re-evaluate and refine their dreams, often emerging stronger and wiser. During a collaborative community event, I worked with a Pisces event planner, Sophia, who put her heart and soul into creating a magical evening. She envisioned everyone sharing stories, forging deep connections, and leaving transformed. When turnout was lower than expected and a few technical snags occurred, Sophia took it personally. However, after a reflective walk by the beach, a quintessential Pisces move, she returned with a rejuvenated perspective. Even if only a handful of people joined, she said, they felt the night's magic. That's still worth celebrating. Her initial disappointment spurred her to appreciate the genuine connections that did happen, and to learn for the next event. Buddhist wisdom connection. Non-attachment is a core principle in Buddhism, suggesting that while we can dream and plan, we mustn't cling too tightly to specific outcomes. Pisces' capacity to dream big can be a gift, but it's equally important, both for them and for us, to balance aspiration with acceptance. 15. Escaping into thoughts. Pisces have a penchant for retreating into their internal ocean of thoughts and daydreams. This mental escape often serves as a self-defense mechanism against the pressures of everyday life. Instead of facing a stressful environment head-on, they temporarily slip into a private realm of imagination, creativity, or reflection. Why people envy this? Instant stress relief. Being able to mentally withdraw can offer a quick reprieve when external tensions run high. Creative fuel. Many Pisces channel this imaginative space into art, writing, music, or any other outlet that benefits from visionary thinking. Emotional processing. Quiet introspection allows them to sift through complex emotions, emerge with clarity, and then re-engage with the world more peacefully. A dear friend, Lisa, used to sit in our local park for hours, gazing at the sky. When asked what she was doing, she'd say, "I'm just drifting through my thoughts, seeing where they lead." At first, it seemed like a luxurious waste of time. But after each session, she'd return to her tasks with renewed focus, often armed with fresh insights about problems she was facing. Her capacity to slip away into introspection left me thinking, maybe we all could use a bit more stillness and daydreaming in our frantic schedules. Buddhist wisdom connection. Monastics in many traditions dedicate long stretches to meditative retreat, stepping away from the hustle to cultivate insight and self-awareness. While Pisces might not always follow formal meditation steps, their instinct to withdraw into imagination can parallel the benefits of a meditative pause, provided they return to reality with mindfulness and presence. 16. The importance of small details. Though we've previously touched on Pisces' penchant for small gestures, it's worth noting that Pisces also have a laser focus for tiny details. Whether it's noticing a slight change in a friend's tone of voice or remembering the subtle aroma of a particular tea you once mentioned loving, Pisces excel at picking up the little nuances that others might overlook. Why people envy this? Heightened emotional radar. This acute perception often helps Pisces sense underlying tensions or unspoken joys in a room. Memorable thoughtfulness. Friends and loved ones feel profoundly seen when a Pisces recalls minute preferences or pivotal personal dates. Strong intuitive insights. By piecing together small observations, Pisces can form an almost psychic read of someone's emotional state. Real-life moment. A few years ago, I shared a conversation with a Pisces acquaintance named Celeste, casually mentioning my grandmother's homemade jam. Months later, she surprised me with a jar of jam made from the same fruit variety, complete with a handwritten note, a taste of sweet nostalgia. I was floored by her memory and depth of care. In that tiny gesture, she captured the heart of Pisces' uncanny knack for meaningful detail. Buddhist wisdom connection. The practice of mindfulness teaches us to pay attention, fully and gently, to the present moment. Pisces' ability to zero in on small details mirrors this mindful awareness, reminding us that life's richness often lies in nuances easily missed in our daily rush. 17. The patience test. Pisces generally have a reservoir of patience that can seem limitless, until it isn't. They'll tolerate minor slights and inconveniences for the sake of harmony, aiming to keep peace in their environment. However, once their patience is truly tested, by betrayal, repeated disrespect, or moral compromise, they can draw the line abruptly. Why people envy this? Long fuse. Clear boundaries. Their patience allows them to avoid knee-jerk reactions. But they won't let others trample them forever. Emotional control. Pisces can sense when anger is building, often giving themselves space to reflect before responding. Graceful conflict resolution. While they're patient, they also prefer creative, empathetic solutions to friction, making them mediators in many social circles. Illustrative story. At a community volunteer meetup, I watched a Pisces team leader, Ben, handle a difficult participant who kept arriving late, missed important deadlines, and made snide remarks about the group's inefficiency. For weeks, Ben calmly reminded him of expectations. Eventually, the day came when Ben, in a measured yet firm tone, said, "I respect your perspective, but this isn't working. We need to part ways for the sake of the project." His composure and emotional clarity in that moment were both impressive and enviable. Buddhist wisdom connection. Buddhism advocates for equanimity, maintaining balance even when provoked. Pisces, with their gentle hearts, often aim for this equilibrium. They'll endure inconveniences to preserve harmony but ultimately stand up for what is right. Their balancing act between patience and self-respect is a living lesson in skillful means. Papaya. 18. The weight of daily decisions. While Pisces are dreamy and imaginative, they also understand the gravity of real-world responsibilities. Although they may appear whimsical, they carry a surprising sense of duty, especially when tasks affect the well-being of loved ones. This can make them overly self-critical, as they often feel the emotional weight of every decision they make. Why people envy this? Strong sense of responsibility. Pisces don't take commitments lightly, they pour their heart into fulfilling every promise. Emotional maturity. Balancing day-to-day chores with their inner fantasy world demonstrates a level of maturity many struggle to achieve. Thoughtful decision-making. Before they act, Pisces consider how their choices might ripple out to impact others. Snapshot. During my time managing a local mindfulness center, I relied on a Pisces volunteer, Mariah, to handle finances. This wasn't her dream job. She was an artist at heart, but she took on the task with diligence because she believed in the center's mission. She'd double-check every budget line, worried about misallocating funds that people had donated in good faith. This conscientiousness stemmed from both empathy and an unwavering sense of duty. Buddhist wisdom connection. In the Noble Eightfold Path, right action and right livelihood remind us to live responsibly and ethically. Pisces, despite their dreamy inclinations, often excel at mindful decision-making because they instinctively grasp how each action can affect a broader network of people. 19. Constantly thinking of loved ones. A hallmark of Pisces is their seemingly endless compassion. They're always checking in on the emotional climate of those they care about. Whether it's a partner, a family member, a colleague, or even an online friend, a Pisces often devotes mental space to others' well-being, wondering how they can offer support or lighten someone's burden. Why people envy this? Unmatched loyalty. Their thoughts rarely stray far from the people they hold dear, reinforcing the strong bonds in their lives. Active empathy. Instead of waiting for signs of distress, Pisces proactively seeks ways to uplift loved ones. Emotional generosity. They don't just think about others, they often act on those thoughts through small acts of kindness or words of encouragement. Personal vignette. My good friend Lucia, a Pisces, would often text me out of the blue with a simple question, "How's your heart today?" That direct yet gentle inquiry made me pause and reflect on my emotional state. In doing so, she offered a precious gift, the feeling of being genuinely seen and cared for. This kind of consistent thoughtfulness is exactly what sets Pisces apart. Buddhist wisdom connection, the practice of loving kindness, metta, encourages us to hold others in our thoughts with warmth and positive intention. Pisces embody this naturally, teaching us that a heartfelt "Are you okay?" can sometimes be the greatest act of compassion. 20. The joy of sharing. Pisces are often most alive when they can share experiences with the people they love. Whether it's cooking a meal together, planning an artistic project, or simply relaxing on the couch during a movie night, the communal aspect infuses the moment with additional meaning. Why people envy this? Collective happiness. Pisces don't just seek personal enjoyment, they crave mutual joy that elevates everyone involved. Sense of community. They excel at forging deeper connections because shared experiences bond people on a soulful level. Warm inclusion. Pisces strive to ensure nobody is left out, creating an atmosphere where everyone feels welcome and valued. An example, during a weekend getaway, my Pisces cousin Joel turned what could have been a simple family dinner into an interactive pizza-making event. He prepped different doughs, sauces, and toppings, excitedly showing us how to knead the dough and swirl the sauce. By the end of the night, we weren't just fed, we'd collectively created something, and laughed a lot in the process. Joel's delight in bringing people together through a shared task is precisely the kind of community spirit Pisces exemplify. Buddhist wisdom connection. In Buddhist tradition, sharing a meal can be a sangha building practice, emphasizing unity and harmony. Pisces intuitively bring this communal spirit into everything they do, making each gathering a chance for deeper connection. 21. The need to feel loved. Finally, we arrive at one of the most defining aspects of Pisces, their deep need to feel genuinely loved and appreciated. While many zodiac signs crave love, indeed, most humans do. Pisces feel this longing at a soul level. They invest enormous emotional energy in their relationships. And if they sense neglect or lack of reciprocity, they may retreat behind thick emotional walls. Why people envy this? Profound emotional core. This vulnerability is part of what makes Pisces so empathetic and sincere. Courage to seek genuine bonds, far from settling for surface-level connections. They bravely yearn for real, abiding love. Inspiring self-worth journey. Pisces teach us that recognizing one's need for love isn't weakness, it's a testament to our shared human desire for authentic connection. A closing anecdote. My mentor, an older Pisces named Frederick, once confided, "I've spent years giving people my heart on a platter. And sometimes I got hurt. But I've never regretted loving deeply, it's who I am." When people reciprocated his warmth, Frederick flourished. When they didn't, he practiced gentle self-protection. This cycle of vulnerability, love, occasional disappointment, and eventual growth could be seen as the Pisces existential dance, and it's profoundly moving. Buddhist wisdom connection. The Buddha taught that all beings desire happiness and wish to avoid suffering. Pisces embody this universal truth with transparent tenderness. Their need to feel loved is a reminder that we're all interconnected and that offering love, in turn, nurtures our own soul. Thank you for joining us. We've now completed our 4-part odyssey into the world of Pisces. From their whimsical optimism to their fierce loyalty. from the smallest thoughtful gesture to their grand, empathetic hearts. Pisces remind us that life can be both magical and meaningful. While they might occasionally drift into daydreams or wrestle with emotional disappointments, their overarching legacy is one of tender devotion, spiritual curiosity, and genuine compassion. I invite you to ponder these Pisces qualities in your own life. Whether or not you share this sun sign, can you integrate more empathy, mindfulness, and heartfelt connection into your daily routine? Can you honor your own need for love while also offering kindness freely? If this exploration resonated with you, do share your reflections in the comments. And if you haven't yet, let us know your zodiac sign and birth date. I'd love to see how our cosmic tapestry continues to weave together here on the path to Buddhist wisdom. Until next time, may you carry the Pisces essence of empathy, wonder, and heartfelt community with you. Thank you for journeying with me through these 21 reasons why everyone envies and cherishes Pisces. Wishing you peace, love, and moments of pure, imaginative bliss. End of part 4 and the conclusion of our series on why Pisces is such an enviable zodiac sign. Thank you for watching and reading along.